that's new, I'm Margie Remmers-Davis, founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education, and this is our live stream that we hold every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern in time inside of our free Facebook group. I will talk about the free Facebook group for the YouTubers here in just a minute, but just to finish my thought about Seattle. So this is what so Acadian, you guys all know, oh, wait, hold on. Maybe you don't. I forgot to ask, who is new today for the first time? This is your first live stream live, because I always get here, I talk to you like I've known you forever, and I always forget that there are morning people. So Gretel, I don't think I've seen your name before. Good morning from Yukon. I just last week spent time with a dog named Yukon, so I was thinking about you. Mickey, can't quite see. Very new and not sure where to start. All right, well, if you're not sure where to start, make sure that you check your email for the Welcome to the Locker Room. I'll go over that in just a minute, but also, you can also make an appointment with somebody at Acadian. Like, if you don't know how, it depends on what it is you don't know where to start with. If you don't know where to start with this free group and all the resources and all the free stuff that's available, then the welcome post will tell you all of that. If you are new and not knowing where to go as far as like what courses to take, you can always make an appointment with somebody on our team, and we can talk to you about what your what's happening in your world, what you need, all of that good stuff. So Helen is new. Yay, welcome. Good morning. Melanie is new to the lives. Yay. Okay, so we do have a bunch of new people, so we okay, so maybe you have not heard me talk about this before, but I've been saying that we were having this event in Seattle on July 1st, and it's all been hush-hush. So I had this idea months ago, it seems like a long time ago, that I wanted to have, I'm going to be in Seattle the first week in July. I wanted to have some kind of a live event, and I wasn't sure, like, what kind of event would it be? Would it just be like, hey, we're all going to get together for dinner? Was it going to be some kind of a training? What would it look like? And so one of our graduates was in Seattle. She's like, oh, I'll help you plan it, and she no longer can help, but I did talk to her, and we had brainstorming sessions. And here's the thing about Acadian. Acadian is all about what? Hands-on practice. We're all about doing. You can't learn how to ride a bicycle, or you can't learn how to ride a bicycle from watching a YouTube video. We want you to do. Yes. Corey says hands-on clarity. Exactly, hands-on. So we're going to have a party, and it is a party where we are going to learn how to network. I'm calling it networking for introverts. But it's going to be in a safe space because it's just us, and we're going to practice networking skills in a very fun, engaging, safe way. So, Deb says, coolest idea this year, thanks. Uyi says, this is amazing. All right, I'm glad you like my idea. So, yes, I have been, Elizabeth says, excellent. Brenda says, OMG. Oh, okay, good. I'm good. I'm glad you like it. Because, I have been to, and I'm telling you, I love conferences. I have been to hundreds of conferences in my lifetime, and I love them. I love learning from people. I just love the atmosphere, and that, like, I just gained so much from, from conferences. So I'm a big believer in them. But I didn't want to put on a conference. Like, I didn't want you guys to sit in a room and just absorb. Like, that's just so against what Acadian stands for. Like, we're all about the doing. We're all about the doing. So that's what we're going to do in Seattle, July 1st. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's going to be like 2 parts with lunch in the middle, and it's just going to be a bag lunch. So we're going to do we have like a special event part, like start, when you first get there, that'll last for about 2 hours. Then we're going to break. We're going to have lunch, and we'll talk about like what you just learned, and but we're going to teach it to you in like this really sneaky way. It's going to be so good, guys. It's going to be so good. So, anyway, so that is coming, and we are, as soon as we get that locked down, hopefully, well, my event planner is on, she went camping for the weekend. How dare her, right? But she, as soon as I get the place locked in, when she gets back on Monday, she'll be able to set up the Eventbrite thing, and you can like buy your tickets and like get that. And we're probably gonna cap it at 30 people. But if I have no idea how this is gonna go. This is our first one. And the thing is, if it goes well, then we'll do them all over. Like, we'll do them here. Somebody asked where I am. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, just outside of Richmond. And so we'll do one here we'll do one here in Virginia. We'll do one wherever you are. And Corey's in Illinois, right? Yeah, let's do one in Chicago. So, but first we have to get this first one. We'll do one in Montana. So, yeah, so everyone that, like, I don't know, we'll just do them all over, and I'm super excited about it. But we have to do our first one to, smooth it out, get it going, or whatever. All right. Okay, so Richmond would be great. Montana. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Yes, I think it would be amazing. Right. Corey came out here when we launched the cleanup course, and I took her to this restaurant that she still dreams about. She still dreams about this restaurant. So, yeah, it's a pretty special place. All right. So that is one exciting announcement. Now, the second, which is even a bigger announcement, actually, guys, the bigger announcement is we are having a special contest for the month of June. So it's actually starting today. Okay, so it's starting today, except the only ones that know that it's starting today is you guys who are here live on the call, and in the locker room. We'll post about it later, but it's only like so you guys have a head start. You guys are going to have a head start on this. So here's what we're doing for the month of June. We are calling it Just Get It Done June. And I have like a little presentation here. Hold on. I haven't even done my locker room intro, but I wanted to do this first because I was so excited about it. Okay. I've forgotten how to do this. Okay. This guy, I put this guy over here, and okay. All right. Here we go. So this is we are calling it, wait, how do I share my screen? Oh, right. I have to share my screen in Zoom. God, technology, guys. This is just like, I cannot handle it. I cannot handle it. Okay, share that, and then I click that. Okay, you guys can see, just get it done June, right? Just get it done June. Okay. All right, and I gotta minimize that. So many things. So many things. Okay, so this is just get it done June, and we're having a contest, and this contest is specifically for those of you who are not yet certified in any area. Okay, so there's 3 certifications that we support: level 1, level 2, and payroll. Okay, so that's what we have Acadian companion courses for those certifications. And if you anyone who completes a certification in the month of June is going to be, your name is going to go in this drawing. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. All right, wait, where's my cursor? There we go. Here's the contest rules. Okay, so you have 1 entry per certification achieved in June. Okay, so that could be up to, so you could have up to 3. I know some of you have gotten 2 certifications and not 1. Some of you have purchased the courses but haven't finished them. Everyone who gets, and by the way, this is not for recertification. This is only for certifications, okay? Your first time getting certified, okay? So 1 entry per certification. This is not, again, this is about you getting it done. This is not about us selling courses. It is about you getting it done, okay? So 1 entry per certification achieved in June, which means you can have up to 3 entries for the contest. Deb did make it happen May. Maybe that's what we'll do next year. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, so 1 entry per certification. And the way that you're going to enter that is you're going to send us your Credly badge, okay? Now, inside of the courses, there is a little checkbox where you're supposed to like tell us that you got when you got certified. So many people are missing it, and honestly, you could just go and check that checkbox, and we wouldn't know whether you actually got certified or whether you just checked the checkbox. So we're going to have you send us your Credly badge. That way we know. So that's how you're going to enter. We're going to have a form probably on Monday. We'll have a form where you can start, for those of you who get certified, can start putting your badge in there. Now, I mentioned that this is for anyone who gets certified from now until the end of June, okay? If you, from now until the end of June, purchase one of our companion courses and finish it, then we're going to 5x your entries, okay? So if you purchase an Acadian companion course and you get that certification in that same month, then you get 5 entries per certification. So theoretically, somebody could have 15 entries in the drawing. Okay, I'm just going to stop for a minute and check the chat. Okay, we are going to do a drawing every Friday on the live stream right here. By the way, next week we're going to do a drawing anyway for those of you who are in the gym. I'll talk about that later. But this is like a new extra drawing. We're also going to do a drawing every Friday in the month of June. You don't have to be present to win. You just have to get that certification and send us your link. All right. And your name will stay in for the entire month. Okay. So you will have an advantage if you get certified this week, like this coming week. If you get certified, you will have an advantage because your name will stay in there. Like if you haven't been drawn, your name's going to stay in there every week. Okay. So if you got all 3 of them done this week, you would have 15 entries in there, and those 15 entries would be in there the whole month of June. So like more opportunities for you to win. This is all about you guys getting it done. Okay. So, all right, Leslie, I see Leslie May just purchased the payroll course 2 days ago. Excellent. Finish it. Finish it by Thursday. It has to be by Thursday at midnight. If you finish it and submit your badge, then you will be in the drawing on Friday. And if you don't win on Friday, you'll keep being in there. Okay? All right. And Deb says, just going through the courses are a huge win. Yes, that too. We just yes, I love my courses. I think they're great. Other people think they're great. But this is about doing the courses, like not buying the courses. Yes, we would love you to buy the courses. If you haven't bought the courses, we're going to give you an incentive, okay? But we want you to get it done, guys. This is the spicy Margie. This is the one. I need you guys to level up and follow through on commitments and actually do things that you say you're going to do, because the world needs bookkeepers. The world needs really good bookkeepers, and I'm trying to churn out as many really good bookkeepers as we can. Okay, so your name's going to stay in the entire month, and everyone who gets certified in June will get a special prize. Okay, that's a special prize for everyone. But the drawing on Friday, here is the prize. Let me see. Seeing the chat. Melanie says, woohoo, she started payroll. Excellent. Okay, excellent. All right, so here's the prize. Every Friday, what somebody is going to win. Okay. So I told my team, okay, I want the prize. I thought, okay, well, the prize is going to be, a future course, right? You get whatever course or you get, money to spend on a course. And my team said, well, how about it not be something they have to buy from you, right? That's kind of self-serving, right? Is if they have to buy something. What if it were just something that we gave them that they could just do, without you? And so here's what we're going to do. Here is the prize. Every Friday, we're going to do a drawing of everyone who has gotten certified so far. Starting today, if you get your certification today, you're going to be in this drawing. You're going to get a $500 Visa gift card. Some lucky winner who gets certified is going to get a $500 Visa gift card. You can spend it anywhere you want. You can spend it on your rent. You can spend it on your groceries. You can go buy somebody else's course, whatever. But I still wanted to give you something for Acadian. So in addition to the Visa gift card, you are also going to get a $250 Acadian coupon. So you could then buy something else at Acadian with $250. Okay, so $750 that we are giving away every week in the month of June. And if you don't win, don't forget, everyone who gets certified is going to get a special prize, which we'll announce either June 30th or July 1st. Okay? So that is what's happening. Can it include a desktop certification? No. It is level 1, level 2, and payroll, QuickBooks Online. Okay, people are loving it. Wow, wow, incredible. Don't play with Margie's prizes. No, I want you to play with my prizes. Okay, so that is, all right, that is super exciting. All right, so woohoo, that's what's happening. Very exciting. All right, we need to get into our lesson. We have a very special guest with us today, and she's been waiting 25 minutes in the wings. So I need to get moving. Okay, but I just had, you know me. Well, those of you who are new don't know me, but those of you who have been around for a while know me and know that, like, I get chatty and I get excited about things. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, those of you who are watching on YouTube, this is why I do this little speech, this is the live stream that happens every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside our free Facebook group, which is the QBO Gym Locker Room. The Locker Room is your spot for hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. Hands-on practice, hands-on practice, hands-on practice. That is what we are all about here, okay? As a member of the Locker Room, you get a free QBO QuickStart course. So those of you who are new, sorry, you scrolled up, I can't remember your names, but those of you who are new, you want to make sure and check your email because we sent you this course. Okay, so we sent you this course, told you how to access it. It lays the ground for how to access QuickBooks Online, how to set up an account, what makes an accountant account different than a regular subscription that business owners get, how to navigate terminology, workflows, all of that good stuff is in the QBO QuickStart course. It lays the foundation. If you are brand new to QuickBooks Online, this is what you need. We give it to you for free. If you cannot find it, check, spam, junk, promotions, all of that stuff. If you absolutely cannot find it, then write to support@acadian.com, AKADIAN, and we will look. Sometimes you type your email address wrong or you're checking the wrong email address, whatever. Okay, so look for the free QuickStart course. Also, as a member of the Locker Room, you have access to over 100 free exercises. I haven't counted them, but I think we're close to 200 now, exercises using QuickBooks Online. People are always asking how to find the exercises, and they are, Dave, oh my goodness, all these people. Okay, so if you go into the Facebook group and you look, you'll see that there is a tab here that says featured, and there is also a tile here, the featured section. There's a tile here that says welcome to the Locker Room, and the link is right in here. And guess what? It was also emailed to you. Okay, so all of our so make sure you check for that email, but if you need to access the exercises, they are right here. These are the free exercises, okay? Also, as I mentioned, you get to come on this live stream and you get a free exercise of the week when we work through it together, and you are I forgot what I was going to say. You come in, you work, we give you the exercise, we work through it together. Oh, and you can ask questions and interact with me as you've seen. All right, so for those of you watching this recording on YouTube, come join us in the Locker Room because that's where it's at. All right, so the exercise of the week is part of our program called the QBO Gym Locker Room. I'm sorry, the QBO Gym Locker Room is free. Everything I've said so far is free. The exercise of the week, however, is part of the QBO Gym, which we're running so late today, I don't have time to go into details about the QBO Gym. Basically, the QBO Gym is an opportunity for you to practice, again, hands-on, practice being a bookkeeper. So if you have ever thought to yourself, oh, I wish that I could get an internship so that I could figure out what it's like to be a bookkeeper. If I could, I wish that I could work for somebody for free, or I got certified, but I just don't know what I'm doing. That's why we have the QBO Gym. Okay, so yes. So Joel has put a link in the chat for he has put a link in the chat for our free challenge for the gym. So you can actually, so the QBO Gym is an entire year's worth of material. You can actually just get the first month and try it out for free, and Joel has put the link. Thank you for all the people who are commenting on how great the gym is. And I'm rushing through this. Normally I spend more time on this, but I don't want to take up so much time from our special guest. Okay, so the QBO Gym lets you practice. Today's exercise today's exercise is in the gym, I think. Anyway, so today is, so every 5th Friday of the month, which today is a 5th Friday, we bring on this special guest who is Corey Jankowski, who teaches our cleanup course. And there is some cleanup work in the gym. There is a whole month is dedicated to cleanup, but then you can get an entire course of learning how to clean up the books. If you don't know, if you're brand new, Corey is amazing. She teaches our QBO cleanup course, which helps you do so many things. Number one, it helps you diagnose messy books so that, I guess I need to stop my screen share. Diagnose messy books so that you don't end up with scope creep. She teaches you how to price actually a cleanup, how to propose, how to send a proposal to the business owner in a way that makes them want to sign up like that. And then she teaches you how to actually do the cleanup in a fast and efficient way. And you get to, not only do you get all this training content, but what are we all about? We are all about hands-on practice. We are the only cleanup course on the market that comes with a final project. So you actually get a messy set of books that you then go in and clean up according to Corey's methodology. So super exciting. All right, so Corey is going to actually walk us through an exercise today from the course. I think this one is actually in the gym. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it's all cleanup stuff. It's all cleanup stuff. And there was this question. Oh, I wanted to make sure. Okay, so for those of you, I do have to say this part. For those of you who are subscribed to the gym, you want to make sure, so the exercise of the week is a separate course, and it's unlocked when you have 250 points. And you have to, in order to get Booksmatch credit, I didn't even talk about Booksmatch credit today, but those of you who know what that is, in order to get your Booksmatch credit, you have to use the link inside the course. Joel has put the link in the, did you put the link in the chat for the exercise today? I don't see it. That's the scribe exercise. Oh yeah, it's way scrolled up. Okay. So the exercise of the week is, I don't know. For me, it's scrolled back. You might want to put it again. Oh, Corey also put it in. Oh yeah, did Joel have the wrong one? Anyway, the point is, you have to, if you're subscribed to the gym, you have to use the link in the gym, not the one in the chat. The one in the chat is for people who are not subscribed. Okay, I want to make that clear. Also, I got feedback that for some people the links in the chat don't work. So I don't know what that's about, but Corey or Lindsay, I think, helped me get that squared away. So hopefully we got it. All right, I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm actually gonna put myself on mute and let Corey, and I'm gonna turn my camera off too because I'm gonna let Corey take it away.
Oh, I'm gonna be talking to the blank screen again.
Oh, that's right.
It's okay.
So I forgot. So guys, okay, this is pretty funny. So when I do the live streams, I always make sure everybody's camera's off because I get super distracted. You can see how distracted I get just from the chat. Like if I saw all your faces, I love you, but it would just be so distracting to me. I turn them off. But Corey does a live thing just like this on the first Monday. Is it Monday? Yeah, the first Monday of every month for the cleanup students. She does a live thing like this, and she insists that you turn on your camera because she and I are opposites. she wants to see all your faces. So anyway.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like detour a little bit. So there's a reason why is because I think that like I totally understand Margie's like being distracted because it is kind of distracting, but I want people to be comfortable being on camera because
Yes.
everything we do is remote now.
Yeah.
And if you're not connecting with clients by seeing their faces
Yeah.
and them hearing your voice, it just it creates like this disconnect. So I
Yeah.
really do it so that everyone who is there, so that we can have that connection and to realize that the camera is not that scary.
Yeah.
But I also don't usually have as big of a group showing up to our client call. So yeah, everyone who's here, if you are in the cleanup course, like I challenge you to, yeah, make me eat my words. Show up and see if you can distract me by having your cameras on. Yeah, I think that it serves the purpose for both things. So
Yeah, yeah, that's actually super brilliant. Yeah, that's super brilliant. All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
take it away.
Yeah, welcome everyone. So Margie, like Margie said, I am Corey Jankowski, and I created the QBO cleanup course for Acadian, and Margie gave me a platform to share that. So I had the idea, and I knew how I wanted it to be, but I didn't know how to actually get all the moving parts happening to make it happen and make it a real thing. And so Acadian helped me to do that. So I am so excited to be able to share our exercise today with you. So we are going to be working on negative inventory. So this is something that happens especially when you are working with products and services. It's not going to happen with every client's books, but if they have products and services and they're tracking the inventory, it can make it so that the inventory gets skewed if it is not recorded properly. So this is a big cleanup thing that can happen in that situation. And again, it's really because typically in the cleanup scenario is that they have been DIYing their bookkeeping, or they've had someone who maybe doesn't understand all of the moving parts that can happen in accounting software when we're doing things like inventory. So when they come to us and we look at all of those reports before we start working with them, because we don't just want to dive in and say, yes, please, like, please let me be your bookkeeper. We really want to make sure that we understand where they are starting and what the end goal is. So when you're looking at those reports and you start to notice, oh, there are things related to inventory on the balance sheet or on the P&L, and then you look into products and services and you might see that there is inventory that looks like it's just been building up and shouldn't be, or inventory that is negative, and that means that when you attempt to close the books out at the end of the month, you're not going to be able to. QBO is going to say, nope, this is unresolved, so it needs to be fixed. So what we are going to start with is if you have the scribe exercise open, and Joel has shared that, and it is the one that at the top it says C.61B negative inventory. And the first instructions are to start in the sample company. So if you don't know how to get to the sample company, then definitely follow these first few instructions. Once you've done a few exercises in whichever course you are enrolled in, you are going to be able to, with your eyes closed, find the sample company. So
Corey, I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second and remind everybody that we have a quick link now. So you can just go to acadian.com/QBOA and it will open up the accountant version of the sample company. And Joel will put that, if he hasn't already, he'll put that in the chat. So yeah, so that's another way to easy access it.
yes, nice. Thank you. Great share. So when you are in the sample company, then it is going to look a little like this. It's going to be Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. I've shut off all of my extensions. Hopefully, if you see something pop up that you don't recognize, please let me know and I will make sure to turn off whichever extension that might be that's affecting my QBO account. Here we have a little note. So how could you end up with a negative amount of inventory? That's what we're going to do first is we're going to recreate this problem. I'm going to click the little guide me here. I did leave my scribe extension on so that we can follow along on the right side. This is very helpful. I'm going to close the little nav over here once we've gotten to where we need to go. And so to complete this exercise, we are going to start out over here in the gear icon. And under the gear icon, we see under the lists column, products and services. And in Craig's landscaping business, I'm going to go ahead and close this so that we can see a little bit more on the screen. So in Craig's landscaping business, we see that he tracks several different things and that there are several different things that we can view in the products and services. What we are going to focus on is only the things that are related to inventory. So to do that, we're going to click this little filter and the type that we're going to select is inventory. And go ahead and apply that. And now you see that the other things that were there, so really the services that were in the non-inventory products, that those have disappeared. Now we only see the inventoried products. The one that we're going to look at right here is the rock fountain. So there are 2 rock fountains that it says that Craig has on hand. And so he is going to replenish his stock and he buys 3 more rock fountains. Now we're going to do it the way that Craig did it. We're going to do it wrong to begin with because we want to see how this issue happens so that we know how to help our client resolve the issue and prevent it from happening in the future. We want them to be able to do it the right way. But it also helps us to see that we might be doing it the wrong way and it's affecting things like this. So to do this, we're going to go in the little left nav and we're going to select plus new. And we're going to add an expense. So Craig purchased 3 more rock fountains. And so we are going to record that expense. Whoops. And I haven't been clicking the next button on here. And so now I've confused the scribe about where we are. So I'll go back and click all of these next. So
You can, Corey, you can just turn off. See how it says guide me on up at the top there? You can just turn that off and then it will, yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I'll just sit here all day and click next. Okay, so now we are in the expenses. So in the payee fields, And sometimes you might notice that there are extra little things like this that pop up. We're just going to ignore this. This is a new feature that's just a beta feature. We're going to just ignore it. You can exit out if you want more real estate on your screen. So Craig purchases these rock fountains from Philip Masonry. So we're going to type in Philip Masonry, and we see here that Tim Philip Masonry comes up. And we are going to close this purchase order. We're going to come back to it. So keep that in mind that you saw it, but we're going to close it. And then we are going to go down to the category, and we are going to type in fountain and garden lighting. And here Craig has purchased 3 rock fountains. So we're going to type that in there, 3 rock fountains into the description. And in the purchase order, we saw that the agreed upon rate was $125, and he purchased 3. So we're going to go ahead and type 3 times 125 in there, and that is going to automatically calculate our 375 for us. And now we're going to save and close. And we're going to see what happened. So this might be the part where we actually come in to help Craig, is that we go into products and services. And when we look at products and services, we see that nothing has changed. Down here, the rock fountain still says that there's only 2. But we know that Craig says that he should have 5 on hand, but he doesn't. He just has 2 based on his inventory records in QBO. So let's say that he sold 3. And so we're going to go to plus new. Craig knows that he has these in, that he has enough on hand and he's selling them. But QBO does not know that. So we're going to go into plus new, and under customers, we see sales receipts. I don't know why the sales receipt looks like this, but we're going to go with it. It's a little distorted. And we are going to type in
I think they're changing up the interface. So I think
yeah.
the sample company is just behaving a little wonky.
Yeah. Or I ran through it this morning to make sure that everything worked, and it worked perfectly. So I guess at 10:49, they were like, hey, let's just let's just make it
Yeah.
look a little different.
Yeah.
So he sold these to Freeman Sporting Goods. And then we're going to scroll all the way down here to the Arctic Circle. And we are going to type in fountain. And we see right here, rock fountain. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to do 3 different lines. So we're going to this first rock fountain is for the main location. This second rock fountain is for his other 2 locations, and I didn't look them down. So 55 Twin Lane is Twin Lane. And then we have the last rock fountain that goes to Ocean View Road. Okay, so we have those entered incorrectly. And when we look down, when we look down at the total, it looks correct. We've got $825. So we're going to go ahead and save and close this. And then when when we look at this, it looks like I might have to refresh it. I'm actually going to, instead of refreshing it, I'm going to go back into products and services to see what happened. I don't want to risk refreshing it and then something happening and losing my info in the sample company. We all know that happens sometimes. So I'm going to filter it again down to inventory. And now when we look at it, we see the rock fountain has -1. So we're selling more than the QBO inventory believes that we have on hand. So there are two different ways that we can fix this. So if we don't know where the inventory actually came from, so we don't have the expense to match it to, then what we could do is we would go to plus new, and under other, we could make an inventory quantity adjustment. So when we go ahead and click that, this gives us the opportunity to enter in the adjustment date, the account that it should go to, and we can type in the specific product that we want to adjust. The quantity on hand is -1, but we need to enter the quantity that we know actually exists on hand. So we had two originally, we purchased three, and so now we need to enter the new quantity is 3. And the change, whoops, I did that wrong. The new quantity is 2. Sorry. So we had 2 originally, we purchased 3, and then we sold 3. So the change in quantity is going to be a +2. And that is over here, it will show what the change in quantity is. So we're going to save and close. Oops, I did that wrong. Ignore that. Don't save and close. We're going to go over here. Whoops. Oh man. Now I've done it. I was supposed to X out of that. Look at me, Margie, like you invite me.
I think you can go to the inventory asset account
Okay.
and delete it from the register.
Uh, yeah. So what you will do in this exercise is you will actually X out of that.
Michelle says she likes seeing how you fix your own mistakes. So, good.
I
Learning
know.
opportunity for everybody.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, so here I have it. So I'm going to delete it. So just pretend that that never happened. Because we're going to X that out, and we're going to close out that because we actually know where that expense came from. So here in step 25 is where it shows that you close that and you say that, yes, I do not want to make that inventory adjustment. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to expenses. And we're going to see at the top here, we see this expense to Tim Philip Masonry. I'm going to close this so that we can see the full line there. If something pops up, just go ahead and close it. And then we're going to view and edit this. And so this is where what Craig should have done originally. And that's where we are coming back to this little drawer up here that is closed. We're going to open it just by clicking that little arrow. And now we see the purchase order that this should have been applied to. We're going to select add. And now we have over here, we see that we have added that. And when we hover over the inventory quantity, it shows quantity on hand. So we are going to change this number in here to 3 because that's how many up here. Whoops. That's how many up here that he says that he purchased. Now we need to get rid of this categorization up here. So we're going to click the little trash bin and delete it. And so we simply have the item details down here. And so you can tell the difference because we have the category up here. If we are affecting inventory in any way, it should go down here. And if there is an existing purchase order, we want to make sure to attach that so it doesn't just stay open and linger. Now we're going to save and close. And when we go back to the products and services, and I'm going to filter it just so that we are looking at just those inventory items. And here we see on this second line, we see that there is inventory on hand again. So there we go. So now you saw Corey do it wrong and then do it wrong again, and then you saw me do it right. So there we go. That's how that works. Good job, everyone. Hopefully you did it right the first time. If not, remember that if there's a hiccup, we can always fix our little hiccups.
So, I mean, the key takeaway, I think, is that whenever you have a cleanup, you basically have two choices. If you can identify the root of the problem, then you fix the root of the problem. And that was the second thing that we did. We fixed the root of the problem, which was that expense didn't, it was in the category section, not in the item section. But if you can't find the root of the problem, which you can't always, then you do an adjustment. And that was the first one. So the first one that she accidentally did make the adjustment. Yeah. And Corey teaches that in the cleanup course. Like, there's adjustments all over the place. I mean, she teaches both of those things for everything. And just like we did, so that was actually an exercise from the cleanup course. Not, I had said earlier, was that in the gym? But no, that was actually from the cleanup course. And there are, like, in addition to the final project where you actually get to clean up a messy set of books, there are 44, last I counted, there were 44 exercises where you get to do just that kind of thing, where you like create the problem so you can see how you get there, and then, one or two ways to correct the problem. So awesome.
Yeah, and so many people think accounting and bookkeeping is about math. Just remember that if you can think of how the debits and credits affect each other. I said the naughty words that nobody wants to hear. But if you think of how, once you practice enough and you start seeing how the debits and credits affect each other, and how, so you really like get down to it, how, like, what is this account actually accomplishing? And then you can really you can reverse engineer how they got to the problem and how to correct it. So don't get caught up in that you need to know math. You don't need to do bookkeeping. All you need to do is be able to kind of figure out the puzzle and reverse it, and you'll start thinking that way in no time.
Deb has a question. She says, if there was not a purchase order already, would we create one?
So I would not. If they have not created a purchase order, then when you add it to those items and services in that bottom, or the products and services, and that will show up on the sales receipts. If they're tracking products and services, you'll have that option. If you add it down there, it's going to accomplish the same thing. Connecting it to the purchase order just means that there's no longer that purchase order just hanging out there pending.
Yeah. And not everybody uses purchase orders. Like, you would only do it if they use purchase orders and you need to like connect to the ones that are already out there and like put all the puzzle pieces together. But yeah, if they're not using purchase orders, I don't know. What would you say? What would you say in your experience? What percentage of clients actually use the purchase order feature?
2.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like single digits. Yeah.
Purchase orders are very, it's a very old school kind of way of doing the process, and things move so much more quickly now. So purchase orders were really important when you put in an order and it took 90 days to receive your order. And you didn't know like you had to track everything. Things happen so much more in real time now. And so, you put in an order, like 4 days later, you have your product. So you don't need to have all of these like little digital papers hanging out there.
Right.
So
Right.
really old school, and that's how they set up their business originally. They might want to, and then when you kind of show them that it's not always necessary in their work.
And I've also discovered that like public organizations like schools and like that kind of government, like that kind of thing, they still heavily use purchase orders just because, they're bogged down in they're bogged down in bureaucracy.
Yeah, if they have to go through like approval workflows and all that.
Right.
But most of the
Yeah.
businesses that we're working with, they're not.
Exactly. That's that's precisely the transition I was going to make, is that the businesses that bookkeepers are working with are typically not in that situation. So, let's see. There's another one. Ellen says, keep talking about debits and credits. The more it's talked about, the more it sticks in my head. Well, Ellen, I don't know how long you've been on this call, but I frequently go deep. I go deep into the to the debits and credits. So
Yeah.
I think I haven't done it in a while, so maybe next time. So for those of you who are new, there's a pattern to the live streams. So week 1 of the month is always the bookkeeping fast track. So it's always like those deep foundational skills. So maybe next week, that's what I'll do, is I'll cover a debits and credits thing. And then week 2 of the month is a level 1 topic. That's something that's tested on the level 1 certification exam. Then week 3, we try and have a niche person. This last month, we had Max come on, who was a specialist in real estate investment. So, and then the 4th week, we do a level 2 topic. And then if there's a 5th week, Corey comes on and we do cleanup. So, all right, let's see what other questions. Lillian says, I worked for government and that's all we used. Yep. Charlene says, so was the original issue that he entered the information toward the top and not on the bottom half of the screen? Yes, that's precisely what happened. Yeah. Is if you have an inventory product, is that, see, the sales receipt, the sales forms, whether it's a sales receipt or an invoice, it forces you to use a product and service from the product and service list. But when you purchase something with an expense or a bill is the same way, you have the option to either just say a category, which would just pull from the chart of accounts, or select something from the product and services list. So if they're used to just using categories for expenses and they forget that they have inventory products and they just use that top one, then the purchases of those things never get added to the inventory. And when you sell the thing, it always is subtracting from the inventory, but you haven't added anything. So that's what we were doing, and that's what we saw. You see the negative inventory number. That's exactly how it happened. And fairly-ish recently, they now prevent you from closing the books, actually, if you have negative inventory. So they'll give you a little message about that. All right, let's see. Any other questions? I just walked right over you, Corey. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, Ellen says she's working on Fast Track Module 6, so she's learning about debits and credits. Excellent. So you've already heard my speech about that.
Yeah, and I posted above. So my little trick, this is what helped me. Is because we can go through all the acronyms. If that doesn't help your brain, if you know how it affects the asset account, if it's a debit or a credit on the asset account, then it's going to be the opposite on the liability or equity account that it's affecting. So just think of it that way. All you need to do is know, okay, which one in this equation is the asset account, and is the asset account increasing or is it decreasing? And then once you know that, then you can go, oh, okay, that's
a great tip.
Yeah,
that's a great tip. Yeah,
just keep it simple. That's my brain.
Oh, good. Morris says, I really like the pop-up multiple choice questions that cover debits and credits. I don't know if you're talking about in Fast Track or if you're talking about our YouTube channel or if you're talking about the newsletter. But yes, we have debits and credits questions all over the place because we need you to be amazing, as I have said. We need you to be amazing. All right, so for those of you who want to learn more about the cleanup course, Joel has put a link in the chat, and I'm going to switch gears now and talk about marketing. So I don't know if you're welcome to stay on, Corey. I don't know if the other questions are going to come up, but anyway, so one of the things that we provide with the QBO Gym. So I didn't do my normal like QBO Gym spiel, but one of the things with the QBO Gym that we provide are marketing prompts. And the reason that I created these marketing prompts is because I kept hearing people say, I know I'm supposed to post on social media, but I don't know what to say. And I kept thinking, how do you not know what to say? Like, you're learning something new every day. Every day you're learning something new. Post about that. So anyway, so I added all of these marketing prompts, and when you're in the QBO Gym, you actually earn marketing prompts. So like as you learn a thing, you go through a series of exercises, you learn a thing, then it unlocks the marketing prompts for that thing. So this is, so when you remember I said, if you are subscribed to the gym, you have to you click this link and then you click that you've done it. That's how Booksmatch gets updated, okay? If you don't have the gym or you don't have the exercise of the week unlocked, then that's when you use the link that Joel put in the chat, okay? So here is a marketing prompt. Here is something that you could use to talk about your expertise in your social media posts. So you learned about negative inventory. You can post a QBO quick tip. This is what we suggest that you do. Post a quick tip a couple of times a week so that you are reinforcing your expertise as a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. And it says, ever see negative inventory in QuickBooks? That means you're selling items you don't technically have, and that can mess up your COGS, your reports, and even your taxes. It's a red flag worth fixing. Not sure what to do about it or to prevent it from happening in the future? I can help, okay? So you can take that marketing prompt, and Joel has put it in the chat. You can create a little image in, let me get this thing. You can create a little image in Canva. You can put it in ChatGPT and write a whole article. You could create a little video. You could go on Loom and go through the exercise we just did and do a little training for business owners. Put yourself out there and teach this and demonstrate. I mean, the whole point is to demonstrate your expertise. Okay. So if you need help, understanding how to use these, then you could join our Getting Clients cohort, which I don't have the screen. Oh, here it is. Yeah. If you need the accountability, to actually sit down and actually do marketing with a support group, with a support network, and with people that you check in to make sure that you're actually doing it, and you need the training to get you there, then you can join the Getting Clients cohort. The next one, June, is closed, so you can join for July. And I mentioned last week that the Getting Clients cohort it's going away. July might be the last one. You can join. And I'll tell you why as soon as I figure out how to stop sharing my screen. Am I not sharing my screen? Oh, I have not been sharing my screen this whole time. What happened? Oh well, it doesn't matter. Here. Duh. Didn't I say out loud that I'm clicking all of the buttons? Yes, you were. I was sharing my screen for the Getting Clients cohort. I don't know. Anyway, that's a Getting Clients cohort. Joel has put the link in the chat. And if you need help, the other thing that the Getting Clients cohort does, and this is actually the bigger thing, is it helps you get over yourself. So Corey had such a great point in the beginning about getting practice being on screen, getting comfortable with that. That's what we do in the cohort, is we help you get out of your comfort zone, just like a little step at a time, until you're more comfortable just getting online and just talking. So the Getting Clients cohort does that. And as I said, the Getting Clients cohort is going away. I think July might be the last one that we open up to the public. I'll tell you why. Is we here at Acadian, okay, our goal at Acadian is, and some of you have heard me say this before, our goal is to create bookkeepers who are so good that people refuse to work with anybody else. Okay? That's our goal. So that's why, like, we need you to step up. We need you to be really good. We need you to be the best bookkeepers out there. Okay? And, if you're going to carry our name and you're going to say that you came from Acadian, you're an Acadian graduate, okay, then people are going to know. So if you're not good, then that's going to sully our name, right? That's going to make us look bad, okay? So we want only good bookkeepers to be out there marketing themselves. We don't want you to go out there and market yourself as an Acadian, amazing Acadian graduate if you are not an amazing Acadian graduate. My business partner gets really emotional about this. Like he was saying, you guys, you bookkeepers, I told him he should come on one of our calls sometime because he was like, this is people's lives on the line. This is people's lives and livelihood, okay? Those businesses need really good bookkeepers, okay? It's their lives and their livelihoods on the line. So anyway, so that's why we are at some point this year, we don't have a firm deadline, but at some point this year, we're going to gate the Getting Clients cohort behind you actually proving that you're good. So that if you prove that you're good, then we will unlock it for you. That's coming. So if you want to get in now on the Getting Clients cohort, Lindsay just put the link in the chat. But yeah. So anyway, that's my little soapbox speech. Corey says, when you join any of these courses, you will get the tools that you need, but you have to commit to not making excuses. If you want a successful business, you need to commit to do the things. And that is why, that's a great segue. That's why we are doing Just Get It Done June. Just get it done. We're focusing on the certifications this month. Just get it done. Just get it done. And get your certifications, get entered in the drawing on Friday, and I can't wait to see who wins, but most of all, I can't wait to hear your success story. Because I say that all the time, but it is genuinely true. Just this morning, I got a really nice letter from one of my students, one of you guys, and it was so touching, and I shared it with some of the members of my team, and they're like, "Oh, Margie, your heart must be overflowing." Yes, because I just want you to be so successful, and when I hear about it, when I hear the ahas, when I hear the stories, just makes my whole life. Jane says, the cohort was worth every penny and more. I wouldn't be where I am with my business if it wasn't for the cohort and this community. Thank you, Jane. Jane, by the way, is our resident tax expert. She actually works for Acadian. And if you are in Fast Track, you have the opportunity to work with her and get your questions answered. So thank you, Jane. Jan says, extra spicy today. Really? Was I extra spicy? I wasn't, because it was mostly Corey's show. But yeah, sometimes I get spicy. All right, guys, look at this. It's only 12:18, and we did really well as far as time. Those of you who are new know that I can talk on these things. Sometimes we go late. Jean Marie says, this is a good question. Looking at the cohort, it seems we get the most out of it by completing the cleanup course. I've started the cleanup and it is so worth it. I am on to the cohort in June, finishing as much of the cleanup as possible before Monday. That's fantastic. Yes, the cohort, our goal in the cohort is for you to land a diagnostic review. And the place that you learn how to do a diagnostic review is the cleanup course. Like, Corey teaches you precisely what to look for, how to look for it, how it affects your scope, how to charge for it accordingly. Because what happens to so many bookkeepers is, you're just excited to land the client, and you trust the client, and the client says, oh yeah, my books are easy, or oh, it's not that bad, and you go, oh, okay, it's just a couple months. I go, oh, okay, no problem. And then you sign on and you're like, whoa, this is a mess. And then so you end up undercharging and fixing other bookkeepers' mistakes. And even if you go in and say, okay, I'm going to take over the bookkeeping. I'm not going to do any cleanup. I'm just going to take over the bookkeeping. 99 times out of 100, you do have to clean up anyway. So then you weren't charging for cleanup, but you can't actually do your job without doing the cleanup first. So Corey just breaks it down. She just breaks it down exactly what you need to do to make sure that you get paid accordingly for the mess that's there. Just recently I heard a very prominent, I won't tell you who it was, a very prominent person in our space, in our industry, say that she always charges hourly for cleanup because she never knows what she's going to find. And I thought, well, she needs to take Corey's cleanup course, because that's exactly what you learn how to do. So you learn how to know beforehand what you're going to find. All right, let's see. What else? Any questions? Corey will see the cleanup crew Monday, 7 p.m. Central, and she will bring the spice. Let's see. Is there a link to Monday's meeting? Is there a link to Monday's meeting? Dinaj, the cleanup course, the meeting on Monday is for cleanup course students. So if you're a cleanup course student, then all the information is inside your course. Otherwise, the link to this, if you go into the Facebook group, we have the calendar that says this week at Acadian. And so the link to this is in there, and a link to the cleanup course. Fast Track Live is on Thursdays. That's with Jane that I mentioned. Let's see. Joel said I should mention our banana tree nerd out this morning. If anybody wants to hear about that, we can. Yeah, he said I should mention it this morning. I think he just, because we had a little question and I looked it up on chat. I said to him, he said something, and I said, are you sure? I don't think that's right. And I looked it up on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, your husband is right and I was wrong, And I think he just wanted me to tell the whole world that he was right and I was wrong. Let's see. Yeah, so Corey says I should have said that, just done this one first. Corey says there is always cleanup. And then she says it may be minimal, but it is unlikely that they are doing everything correctly. I have done cleanups for CPAs, not the clients of CPAs, but the actual CPAs' books. Yes. Yes. You know, one of you, if you guys, for those of you who are in Fast Track, if you notice, like there's a point in the course where I talk about how you will be more detail oriented than the actual CPA. Okay. And that will be shocking to you. That will be shocking to you once you start working with CPAs, how, I don't want to say flippant they are, but like they care about different things. And sometimes it's frustrating, but we just have to do our job, do it correctly, do everything we can to make their job easier. Jane added here, I have to correct CPAs on tax rules sometimes too. You know, I did a whole, and I think this is the webinar that you got the recording of in the live stream. But we talked, Andrew and I, he's on our advisory council. He also happens to work for Acadian, and Andrew is a CPA, and we talked about, one of the key things we talked about is how, as bookkeepers, we tend to be scared of CPAs. We tend to like think, oh, they know so much more than I do, and so it's like scary. You don't want to ask them a question because you're afraid that you're going to look stupid. But it is surprising how, like they're people too. Like they're people too, and they make mistakes, and sometimes you know things that they don't. They know things that you don't, and yeah. Let's see. I never found the calendar. You never found the calendar. Okay. So let me just, Ellen, I'm going to share my screen really quickly. If I can do it correctly this time. Okay, share. Now okay. So here we are in the locker room. Welcome to the QBO Gym locker room. Scroll down to the featured section. Okay. So you might have to click this tab. If you don't see this, if you're on your phone, you might have to go hit the hamburger in the upper left-hand corner. And it says this week at Acadian. Okay. And then you click that and it has all of the goings on at Acadian for the week. All right. Let's see what else. Charlene says, if you have only purchased level 1, level 2 and payroll courses, should we still be receiving a newsletter? Yes. Yes, you should. So if you're getting other stuff from us, but you're not getting the newsletter, then you probably unsubscribed from the newsletter. If you're not getting anything from us at all, other than like your initial receipt when you purchased, reach out to support@acadian.com. and we'll look into your account and see what's happening. Yeah. Uyi says she wants to hear about the banana tree nerd out. Okay, I will go over that at the end. Let me just see. Could you share the link for the recertification course? Joel or Lindsay, if you could put that in. It's just www.acadian.com/recertify. Let's see. Oh, Lindsay's got it. Good, thank you. Let's see. Uyi says ChatGPT is now solving marital arguments. Look at that. By the way, ChatGPT, I forgot to mention, sometimes I say this, is that these, like when you go through the gym, I personally wrote all of those marketing prompts. But lately, I have been using ChatGPT to write marketing prompts that I share on the call and that we put in the exercise of the week. this week, and I usually share. In fact, Joel can put in the chat the link to I haven't updated. I didn't update it after today, but when I had the conversation today, or yesterday, whenever it was. But you can go, so I just link the scribe exercise, and I say, I want to, I want to write a QBO quick tip, and I say like who my audience is, whatever. Anyway, I have shared the ChatGPT like thread that I use, and so Joel has just put it in the chat. So it doesn't have the today's in it, but like from previous weeks, you can see my whole conversation with ChatGPT on how I create these QBO quick tips. But today I did it, or when I don't know when I did the quick tip. Anyway, for this week, I put in the negative inventory thing, and it gave me a quick tip that I didn't really like very much. Now, sometimes I will continue to refine it by talking to ChatGPT. I will say, oh, but that doesn't really highlight whatever, and it'll write me a new one. Today, I didn't want to mess with that, and so I just copied the one it wrote, and I adjusted it a little bit. So I wrote, where is it? So I wrote the last sentence that says, not sure what to do about it or prevent it from happening in the future. That's what I wrote, because ChatGPT didn't add the part about prevent it from happening in the future. Like, that's what we want to teach the clients how to do. We want to teach the clients, if they have inventory, they have to record their expenses correctly every time they purchase inventory. Okay, so you can talk about that. All right, let's see. Yeah, so Lynette says, I got to get on this ChatGPT. You absolutely do. I talk to ChatGPT all day, every day. Lindsay says, I use it for tons of stuff, lots of program comparisons. It helped me order RAM for my laptop to upgrade it, etc. ChatGPT is everything. It's so good. But you know what? Oh, and here's another one from Corey. Let's see. ChatGPT is amazing. Earlier today, I needed to decide what to name a category for a client. I will never use this category for any other business ever. It needed to be very unique. I told it, meaning ChatGPT, the business industry, what they do, and what this is for, and it gave me the perfect name. I had already spent 10 minutes trying to figure it out. Use it for things that you get hung up on. It is so beautiful at helping us get over the speed bumps. Yes, that's exactly right. And actually, I was just talking to, it was because of the banana incident. Okay, so I will just say, oh wait, here's another one from Lindsay. Says, I've used it to help me design a chart of accounts for a new business and new client as well. Excellent. Oh, and by the way, they sell on as seen on TV and QVC. So the category is network sales commissions. There we go. So that was her thing. So let me tell you about the banana tree incident, because this will actually tie us up. This will be a good way to like wrap up this conversation on AI. So I don't know what the incident was. I don't know how it popped into his head. But in the car on the way back from the gym this morning, Joel said to me, did you know that when they harvest bananas, they have to cut. I think it started with, if you plant a banana tree, if you plant a banana seed, will it grow? And then I said, I don't even know where banana seeds are. And then we were talking about, there's those little specks inside your banana. And I was okay. And then he said, did you know that when you harvest bananas, he said, do you know that when you harvest bananas, you actually have to cut down the tree and plant a new one? And I said, I don't think that's right. Like, how would that work in Mother Nature, right? Like, how would it be that when you harvest fruit, it like kills the tree and you have to plant a new one? And so I was like, I don't think you're right. And then he said, Google it. And I said, I'm going to do one better and ChatGPT it. So I went on ChatGPT and I said, my husband just said, whatever, like XYZ. And ChatGPT said, your husband is right. Sort of. No. What did he say, Joel? He said, your husband is basically right. Joel was offended by the word basically. He's like, I'm basically right. So he said, so ChatGPT said, your husband is basically right. And then it went on to explain that the way banana trees work is that it has these shoots, and these shoots come up, and that's what the new banana grows on. So you actually are cutting down the shoot that has the banana that you're harvesting, but you're not actually killing the banana. You're not killing the banana tree, because the banana tree is going to have like this other shoot that comes up. They called it a pseudo stem, I think. They have this other thing that's going to shoot up, and then you will, and that's where the new bananas are going to grow on. Okay, how does this relate to bookkeeping? So after we talked about that, he said something like, well, and I was like, well, I guess you're right, I'm wrong, whatever. And then he said, well, if ChatGPT is right, like, we don't know if ChatGPT is right. And that is the crux. That is the issue right there. And if you get the news, I've been talking about this in the newsletter too, is that this is the future of bookkeeping and accounting, okay? The machines are going to take over. The machines are going to do the categorizing, right? They're going to do a lot of what historically bookkeepers are going to do, okay? But they're not going to know whether they've done it right. The only way a human being has to be trained to know what to look for, to know how it's supposed to be able to catch whether the machine is doing it right, okay? This is the future of education. If you guys have kids, okay? I have kids, but they're grown. If you have little kids that are growing up in this age, they're gonna, like, the education system has to get on board with this and has to understand, because it's so easy. It will become so easy to let the machines train our children. And then the children are just going to know what the machine knows. They're not going to have creative thinking. They're not going to know whether what they're being fed is actually correct or makes sense. That's why, as bookkeepers, you have to know the foundations. You have to understand debits and credits. You have to understand accounting principles. You have to understand why we do the things we do. Because even if the machines take it over, a human being has to be there to, like, oversee it and look at it and know whether it's right or wrong. It's so important, guys. It is. Now this is the real spicy Margie coming out right now. Like, you have to know. You have to know. All right. That's why we created Bookkeeping Fast Track. Those of you who are in Fast Track, like this is what you're doing. Like, you're learning the underbelly. You're learning the deep whys and wherefores and understanding and how everything connects together, and how when you do one thing, it affects this other thing, and why we do things a certain way. Okay, off of my soapbox. Okay. Okay, ha ha ha. Everyone's talking about banana trees now. Chart of accounts. Okay. I get some emails. I'll look for the newsletter. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. What is this saying? Jean Marie. I have asked an AI about bookkeeping intercompany transaction issues and have had to correct AI. See? See? Redirect it, restate the beginning parameters. Then the AI said, you are correct. I cannot do that. Here's a better answer. It can take me 2 to 3 iterations to get a proper response. That said, AI is still a game changer if you know the basics. Yes. Thank you, Jean Marie. Lindsay says, Fast Track is great. I love it so much. I'm so glad to hear that. And that is our time, folks. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Monday for This Week at Acadian. And I need you to be rockstar bookkeepers, okay? Go do it. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.